Okay, my name is Landon Davis. This is my final speech, and I have no note cards.
Can anybody here guess what the oldest Olympic sport known to man is? No, it's not running or swimming. It is in fact wrestling. Today I will be speaking to you about some of the complexities of the sport of wrestling. While wrestling can appear to the outside observer to be a very violent and brutal sport, there is actually a lot of unknown and subtle techniques used throughout the course of the match by the competitors that largely go unnoticed to the untrained eye. I have been wrestling nearly all of my life and would like to share with you some of the subtle yet complex techniques used by me and other wrestlers that could easily go unnoticed. I will do this today by breaking down the three main positions in folk style wrestling. By first talking about the neutral position, then talking about the top position, and then finally ending with the bottom position. The neutral position in wrestling is the starting position for 100% of matches. In the neutral position, it is the goal of both wrestlers to secure a takedown. According to an article posted by wvmat.com titled Wrestling Rules, Scoring Criteria, and More by Bill Welker, ed.d, written in 2020, a takedown can be recorded when a wrestler brings one or more of his opponent's supporting points to the mat with control of the hips. Supporting points are defined by any weight-bearing part of the body besides the feet. As you can see in this picture here, the wrestler in blue scored a takedown by forcing two of the supporting points, the hands, of the other wrestler to the mat. In order to set up for a takedown, two things must be done from the neutral position. The first of which is winning what wrestlers call the hand fight. Hand fight is an intricate skill that is a combination of both pushing and pulling on your opponent in order to get them off balance. The final key used to be successful in the neutral position is securing what is called head position. Securing head position is done by placing the crown of your head directly below and behind the ear of your opponent. By doing this, you accomplish two things. The first of which is forcibly turning your opponent's head away from you, meaning they are no longer looking at you. The second is that by covering the ear, you throw off your opponent's equilibrium. According to Dr. Tina Donvito in an article taken from keckmedicine.org, written on May 22, 2020, a blow to or around that area of the ear can leave you off balance. This is exactly what wrestlers are trying to do when obtaining head position. After securing a takedown from the neutral position, a wrestler would find him or herself in the top position. I am now going to explain to you some of the techniques used on top in wrestling. In the top position, it is a wrestler's goal to expose the back of your opponent to the mat in order to score points. These points are known as near fall. In the article, How a College Match is Scored, written on September 30th, 2020 by Shannon Scoville from NCAA.com, they define near fall as when an offensive wrestler turns his opponent past 45 degrees for a period of time. This period of time can be 2 to 3 seconds, which would result in 2 near fall points, while 4 seconds and above will result in 4 near fall points. As I just illustrated, the top position is where a large bulk of points can be scored in a wrestling match. It is the top position where great wrestlers are able to pull away from just good wrestlers, and elite college programs work on top ad nauseum. The final aspect of top wrestling that is also perhaps the most exciting is it is where the pin can occur. A pin happens when the person in the top position is able to pin the other wrestler's shoulder blades completely flat to the mat for at least 1 full second, as seen in this photo here. Recording a pin can also help your team win big tournaments. According to the article from the Daily Collegian, Decade's Best 30, Bo Nickel pins Miles Martin to clinch the Penn State Wrestling's 3rd consecutive national title, written by Shane Connellan on April 28, 2020. Bo Nickel was able to pin his opponent to secure a national title for his team, the Penn State Nittany Lions. This was an incredibly exciting event, and it illustrates perfectly how important the top position is in wrestling. After speaking to you about the exciting and flashy positions of wrestling, the neutral and top position, it is now time to talk about the ugly and gritty position of the sport. I am finally going to tell you about the bottom position in wrestling. I mentioned that it is the ugly and gritty position because it is undoubtedly the hardest. When a wrestler is put into the bottom position, it is his or her responsibility to try to get away and earn one escape point, while the opponent on top is trying everything he or she can do to keep them down. You can see in this picture a woman practicing her stand-up from the bottom position. The bottom position, however, is also the most likely position to score in wrestling. Although, according to the article High Percentage Move of the Week, the stand-up, from flowwrestling.org, written by Nicholas Veliquet on October 15th, 2012, it states that the stand-up move has the highest percentage success rate of any technique in the sport of wrestling. This is significant because even though the bottom is hard, it proves that putting in the effort into the bottom position is important given the high probability you have of scoring points from the bottom position. One rather exciting move that one can hit from the bottom position is a move called the Granby. As explained in the article from flowwrestling.org, How to Hit a Granby, written by Ryan Holmes on June 22nd, 2020, in order to hit a Granby roll, you roll over both of your shoulders, escaping the grip from your opponent. It is a very exciting move to watch. After hearing about all three main positions in the sport of wrestling, I hope that you have a little better understanding of what really goes on in a wrestling match. Today I talked to you about the subtleties of the neutral position, the potential dominance and importance of the top position, and then finally the grittiness of the bottom position. I hope today that I was able to shed at least a little bit of light on the amount of small details that go through wrestlers' minds during any given match. Wrestling was the first sport to ever grace the Olympics, and I'm glad to have been able to share some facts with you about how the sport operates today. Thank you.